Michal is a solo dev and he's working on Lords Villeins, and he's been implementing some feedback on his game.
Hello everyone. I will show you all the progress I've done in the past 3 weeks. And let me start with some stats. Last time I was here, I've presented my brand new Patreon page. Since then, I've got a whole amazing 7 patrons, which is about 7 more than I expected. So, success, yay! So I hope to build a Patreon in the future. Right now I'm focusing on the demo, but hopefully this will grow. If you're not on there, what are you waiting for? Next is Steam. I've also put the Steam page up, and ever since then I've got amazing 274 wish lists. You can see in the graph how it kind of went through time. This bump is when 2 of the main Czech digital outlets wrote about my game. This is when I released the Steam page. It slowly went down. This is Google Analytics on the Steam page. It looks as if Steam page is bringing about 200 people every day to my page, because from here I've done almost nothing to market the page. So this is purely from Steam activity, and here. And it's about 10%, or no, 5% is converted to wish lists. So 5% people who come randomly to my Steam page will end up wishlisting it, which I think is pretty good, given the state of the project right now. Next is, I've prepared a video, and I think this is going to be the way I'm going to be doing these presentations from now on, because I can also export it to put it on my YouTube channel as sort of update for my patrons. So here we go. About 2 months ago, I've been holding playtesting in this house. I've gathered a lot of helpful feedback from people. So I've made like a checklist of about 30 things that I want to update before I release the demo to public. And here I show everything that I've implemented one by one. First thing to notice, I don't know if it's visible, but these things have background, so even when it's winter and everything is white, you can still see it. I've also improved like the colors of the mountains, so now it's better like readable what type of mountain it is. If it is iron or limestone or gold or copper, all of that stuff. So now it's very clear to recognize it. I've been playing with some shaders, so now trees move slightly to the wind. It also increases the speed when I'm speeding up the time of the game. So it now kind of like wobbles around. It was a lot of fun to do. Thanks, Matej, for help. Now I also added zooming is now fluid. It used to be locked in 3 positions because I wanted to maintain pixel perfect graphics. I've thrown that out for UX reasons, so now you can get view that's not pixel perfect, but I'm kind of locking you in 3 pixel perfect ratios if you're close to it. I've also moved the menu to the left and it doesn't close, so it's much easier to use it multiple times when you're like kind of drag and dropping stuff in. You don't have to do a lot of unnecessary clicks. It's much, much, much faster now. And I've added a lot of like more feedback on building, so it's not like this beeping sound where you can't build over certain things. Previously it was just the message, and it was pretty small, so now again you're getting better feedback on what you're doing in the game. Yeah, I also separated the edit and planning mode. I got a lot of feedback that it's confusing and people kind of forget if they are editing the zones or if they are actually going through them and clicking on them. So now there's 2 different backgrounds. I've also added the white background border around every zone. This is sped up now, but it should be much more clear now whether you are currently editing the zones or you're just interacting with them. I've also added this hover element that shows you the price of the things that you're about to build that was missing previously. and people were pointing that out. And by very, very popular demand, I've also added indication of ownership. So now when you actually give the loan to someone, you will see it from the view, which is very handy because now you see where is their house and where is their workplace, and time, like traveling through house to the workplace has a very big impact on your productivity. So you need to plan it, and having this available is very good. Also, I've added a lot more information here in the corner. It's very small, but basically every villager now displays their profession, how many zones they have assigned, and a text description of what they are currently doing. So a lot of the feedback, again, I was getting like, I don't know what they are actually doing. So now you just have to click on the NPC and it will tell you specifically cutting tree, eating, sleeping, wandering around, whatever that currently is. Yeah, we also missed it, but the trees are now falling down. Previously they were just disappearing. So now if the NPCs are cutting the trees, there's a nice animation. I've also fixed a bunch of bugs. So previously some of the stones would be left out there if you build over them. Now everything is properly deleted. And I've added a new tool that allows you to remove floors without destroying everything that's on top of them. So now that's two separate things that you can now use separately as much as you need. Yeah, I think that's it for what is visible. There's also other things that can't really be shown in the short presentations, but the NPCs, for example, they remember if they start doing certain activity and they have to stop in the middle and then come back to it, they remember where they stopped, so they don't start over. Previously there was a lot of issues with the NPCs started working and then they've got interrupted because they got hungry and had to go eating, and everything slowed down quite significantly. Yeah, and I've also fixed some issues with going to the table that is across the whole map just to eat and then go the whole way back. So now that's not happening. The NPC just ignores the table if it's too far away, so it doesn't make sense to go there. Yeah, a lot of changes happened. The checklist is pretty much done for me. Now I need to implement main menu and save the game system, and the demo can finally be released. So wishlist it on Steam. You can find the link on my website. It's a very nice city building medieval game, so if you like that kind of stuff, definitely go check it out. And yeah, that's from me. If you have any questions. Yes?
Will the wheat grow up during this video and we'll see the...
Yes.
Okay. Please,
but it's like 4 minutes, so you have to ask questions for 4 minutes. It ends with autumn, so if you want to see seasonal transitions, that's 4 minutes of questions. Yes.
Are you planning to tabulate the selection menu at some point so you can see different categories, or is it still going to be one large list?
Sorry, categories for the menu?
So when you open up the menus, everything's in one large list, but everything you select, are you planning to tabulate that or filter it somehow, or is that still in progress?
There already are categories, like in this menu, when you open it up, there are 3 buttons that filter it by furniture, production, and storage.
Nice.
But certain, floors, there's just 12 floors, there was no need for categories, so that wasn't there. Yes.
We have a few questions from the chat. Will there be a Linux release?
Not officially supported, but I will be trying to build it from Unity if it works. I'm lucky, but I don't have the resources to do it. Yes.
Well, what makes this game different from RimWorld?
I think it's the orientation on the family relationships. So in RimWorld, you would generally have like 10 survivors, and you are kind of micromanaging every single one of them. In this game, you are more focused on family as a whole, so you assign the land to the family, and then that family works on that land on their own. You don't really need to micromanage everything. You're getting the feel of being an actual lord in a medieval universe, so not like a survival that's playing a little version of Sims. Yes?
Will there be buffs for having your people sleep on the dirt road?
Yes, there are. Oh no, buffs, debuffs. There are debuffs, but yeah, if they sleep on the floor, they sleep longer or less efficiently, so they then have less time to produce and work. Yes.
when you got featured in that magazine or publication, did you approach them or they found out about your game naturally?
So we have in Czech Republic, we have Facebook group for game developers. I've posted there. A lot of the journalists follow that, so they saw it and wrote about it. And one of the outlets is a journalist who I met personally on a conference, so we kind of stayed in touch, and he just followed up. So that was on his, which I'm very grateful for. Yes.
Since it's focused on families, like how are you going to be able to improve relationships between families?
Right now, I don't have specific plans for that. I think relationships will be growing up kind of naturally by villagers living next to each other and interacting as they work or meet each other on the streets. And certain conflicts can happen. And I have a plan to create a system of events where you, as a lord, kind of decide how to solve that conflict. So if the system will generate some kind of conflict where they can't stand each other, they might approach you and ask you how to resolve that. And you might be like, okay, this guy is no longer living in this village, or you will recruit him in an army, or you will send him to the monastery to work with the clergy just to separate them.
Wow.
I have there's a lot of things that I can implement within that system of events, but I don't have specifics yet. It's like half a year from now before I start working on it. Thanks for a great question. Yes?
Can you get an overview of all the families, etc.?
Yes. A couple of times there was like the button in the corner, like the book kind of opens up, so that's the overview. Maybe I can find it. Here is the button, people, click it. Yes, this book. So like on the left side, you see all of the families that are currently living in your village. What is their profession? And if you click on it, you see the members of the family. You can click on them to see the specific people and kind of like bounce around as you need.
Those are all different families, different tabs?
Yes.
They have different icons?
Yes, because they all work a different profession. So in this game, you don't really have a research tree. You have a family and the family profession. And their profession is being passed on generation from generation. If you want to expand your production chains, you need to bring a new family into your village that has that profession. So let's say I need a miner. You can't really mine things because nobody knows how to mine properly. So you need a family of miners to come into your village before you can start producing stone on your own. Until that point, the only option you have is buy it on the marketplace from traveling salesmen for money. So you're not like stranded if you don't have that, but it's much more easier if that family is actually living in there. And it's a big part of every game being different, because every time you get different families, so you will have a different production chains. There's about like 40 different professions, so every game kind of gets different because of that.
That's quite interesting.
Thank you. That's it from me. Thank you very much.